Strategic Operative here. Today we're coming to you with my battle breakdown from our Cool Stuff Games tournament. It happened about a week and a half ago. However, I've been actually moving in the last few weeks, so all my stuff has been packed up. That's why I haven't done any videos, but I'm here back in the swing of things to try to give you videos every week now. And this is just a recap from my last video. I was not able to fully put out, had some technical issues along the way, but I'm going to show most of it to you here. The main purpose of this battle, I'm still using my SSD fleet, which has been quite successful thus far, and I've been using the strategy of second player and holding back as long as I can, and then jumping into the fourth round confident, because in 2 rounds you cannot destroy the SSD. It's almost practically impossible in a 400-point format unless you really screw up. This strategy I wanted to try was, can I blitz the SSD? SSD going speed 2, and can actually cover a lot of ground within the first 2 rounds, can jump to the other side of the board and completely wreak havoc. It sounds like a good idea, and I tried that for this video. However, it did not work the way I intended it to. In fact, the hero of the day was the ISD. Primarily, you'll see in both of my rounds of playing in the tournament, I lost to an ISD holding me down, pretty much negating my front arc completely, and the ISD was able to survive rounds, being pummeled out of the side arcs, and keeping me sort of closed and boxed into a point where my front arc was useless. And when the front arc's useless on the SSD, that's what you pay everything for. You pay everything to get that front arc to do as much damage as possible, and you use Jerjerrod, you use all these other abilities and navigations to maneuver positions. But if ships are able to lock you down where you cannot move because you're ramming or they're holding you back by something, it gets really cumbersome and it gets really frustrating. And this is the reason why the SSD is not a good rushing ship that you just throw right in as quick as possible. And I hope this video, although I had a blast playing it, but I definitely got my butt handed to me, and I hope maybe for those of you who use the SSD, maybe you can pick up on some stuff what not to do with the SSD. And for those of you who don't play the SSD, see that there is, of course, thousands of ways to defeat the SSD. The SSD is not, unstoppable. It is not immortal. It is very easy to take down, and there's very, very few things that actually work well with the SSD, but when you find your way to work with the SSD, it works extremely well. And I will say, using it as a blitz ship is not in the best favor if you're running competitive tournaments with the SSD. What is going on, everybody? We're just doing our local store tournament here at Cool Stuff Games for Star Wars Armada. Once again, I'm bringing my SSD, just my regular Star Dreadnought Assault prototype, with my usual Damage Control Officer, Emperor Palpatine, Enhanced Armament, Director Krennic, Ravager, Quad Turbo Laser Cannons, Point Defense Reroutes, Quad Laser Turrets, Moff, Jerjerrod, we're going to do gunnery teams, and Heavy Ion emplacements with Miranda Key, VT-49 Decimator, and 2 TIE Fighters. And we are going up against Chandler first, and we have a pretty nasty loadout here. We have a Imperial Simoon ISD with Grand Admiral Thrawn, Director Krennic, this was Spinal Armaments, and Avenger, Gunnery Team, and XI-7 Turbo Lasers, 2 Architons, both with TRCs and Intel Officer, and 2 Kazantis, the cruiser types, one with ECMs, Mistatua, Slicer Tools, Suppressor, and the second variant, okay, just with Darth Vader and Comnets. Yep. And 2 regular TIE Fighters. Alright, so this will be very interesting. We did our objective, he chose, was Advanced Gunnery, which sort of negates, technically, we're still playing with it, but it's really not going to be that effective because I already have gunnery teams, so I can't attack the same ship twice, and... You can't attack the same ship more than once. Yeah, and you can't attack the same ship more than once, so there's only one ship. So it's interesting to have really no objective in this game. Deathmatch. Yeah, deathmatch, yeah, that's literally how it's going to be for this game. Just ended round 1. Did a pretty big hard turn using Jerjerrod and the Nav token in command. And I'm trying to bear down. I definitely want to stay away from Slicer Tools and Suppressor, but that's just delaying the inevitable right here. And we have an Architon taking advantage of my rear and is going to try coming around. And that's about it for right now. We'll see how round 2 goes. So just starting round 3? Yeah, this is round 3, okay. And just a little back and forth between one of the Architons and my ISD. I was able to get one shot off on Suppressor, but since he had EMCs, he was able to survive. And just back and forth squadron, I was able to take out his 2 regular ties that were able to hold me up so I wasn't able to attack the Architon over here. But other than that, it's just a positioning game, and right now it's just a strategic maneuvering. So we'll see how it goes, what round 3 holds for us. Just wrapped up round 3. Round 4 should actually be pretty quick and simple here because he is first player. If he activates his ISD, I have 12 damage onto my Superstar Destroyer. Just the Avenger title wrecked me, having all my defense tokens exhausted. And the Suppressor just kicked my butt in the beginning, the first 2 rounds, really making it where I couldn't use the Director Krennic or the Ravager titles that meld really well. So he just needs to get 10 more damage through, and with a double arc at close range, he should be able to. But who knows, maybe luck will be on my side with dice. Other than that, just the SSDs just losing shields all around. And I don't think any of your guys have taken damage outside of the...
well, the Gazanti that you killed.
Oh, yeah, the Gazanti, I was able to destroy him since he was double arc. And I was able to take, I think, like 2 damage off of the ISD. So not looking too well. I really wish I did my Moff Jerjerrod at the beginning of my turn so I could turn in a little bit. So he would have stayed in my front arc because he is not in my front arc, but his front arc and side arc are smacking me. So let's see what this round entails for us. Alright, we're still in round 4. He is just activating his Sun Moon, and it is a nasty situation for my ISD or SSD. It's double arced on my right side, and which are you starting with? Your front or side arc?
Doing front.
Front arc first, okay. And he uses Thrawn, which was a Concentrate Fire Dial. Let's see what we got. I only can take 5 more damage before my guy's blown to smithereens.
Strong.
Okay.
Concentrate fire. Double accuracy. I think that's all she wrote.
Okay.
Accuracy.
The braces. Yeah, I'm about to say that would be it.
You can only redirect 1, but you have no shield.
I have no shield, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you kill me. Awesome.
Good game, man.
Hey, good game, good job. So definitely learned that I should have taken risks early on, but hey, we learned from it, and so that gives you, actually, with the,
Does Gunner give me bonus points?
yes, it gives you double. Yeah, double the ship value.
Okay.
So you start at 250, and then you're going to get my upgrades. So you'll be like 600.
Nice.
But nice. All right. Well, that was a fun game, and definitely it shows that the SSD is not impenetrable, and it definitely has its flaws, like every other ship. Just starting our second round pairings. We're just starting round 1. I'm going up against Daniel, and he is bringing his Kuat Star Destroyer, one of my favorite variances, with Admiral Screed as his commander, with Ordnance Experts, HIEs, ECMs, and External Racks, and Governor Price. Also, we have a second class raider with heavy ion emplacements, Captain Brunson, disposable DCs, and also Gazanti class with Comnets, and a bunch of fighters. We have VC-49s. How many of those did you bring in?
3.
3 of those, and of course, we have Key. We have Punishing One, Dengar, and Malar Mythal, which is going to be very interesting here. Here's our deployment. We decided to go with firing lanes. The tokens are on my ISD, or so my SSD currently. And we're ready to start round 1. Very interesting to see how this matchup's going to go. We're just wrapping up round 1 right here. So since he is first player, he's going to have a really good shot right here. Double arced with his Kuat refit against my front hull zone. And we'll just have some back and forth squadron. Wrapping up round 2 right here. The SSD has taken 3 damage so far. I've been able to contain it, but his shields are getting wiped. I was able to bump the ISD to keep my place and control all the tokens, or all the objective tokens as of now. but it's still quite early on in the game. Most of my fighters have been ravished away just by the beauty of these decimators over here. And we still have the Gazanti floating outside my range, Raider coming up doing the same thing, and the ISC is only taking 2 face down damage, so we'll see what round 3 entails for us. So we're just about to start round 4. I have 15 damage cards. Pretty much I have been deprived of any shot from my front arc outside of flacking, just because we've been in a ramming situation back and forth. I'm not giving up the tokens. And I'm using Georgia to sort of come in and bump his side, and he's moving at speed 3, so he's just colliding with me in here. So we're just going back and forth at a standstill, and I'm only shooting out of my side arc. He only has 3 damage cards on the ISD. And the Raider is coming speed 4 into my auxiliary right side that has 0 shields. And he's probably going to activate first because he is double arced right here. And his squadrons have done a beautiful job of knocking out my squadrons. Just the sheer volume of decimators used is just extremely powerful. Decimators are awesome. They're definitely my favorite squads in this. So definitely round 5's looking bad. Round 4 is looking bad for me, but we're gonna finish it out. I mean, it's always fun. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we're stopping at round 4. He was able to get the damage through the ISD because he activated first. Just the double arc on the side really does the damage to me. But it was really good, and definitely learned a lot about the maneuvering of the SSD, of trying to cut off ISDs, because just like in the last battle, it's very important strategically to try to deprive me of that front arc, because ISDs can handle a beating even on the sides of the SSD. They can withstand their own. And so I'm definitely learning more of how to maneuver with the SSD. Just Georgia alone doesn't guarantee you're going to get a clear shot. Should have come in from longer range or charged him up originally, because I dropped down to speed 1 when I should have charged to speed 2, so we've been bumping head to head, and that would have only lasted a round. Either way, but it was still fun overall. Like I said, this is definitely still learning for the ISD, because it takes a little bit of time, but definitely always fun, and can't wait for next time.